What's going on, everyone? It has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. We are back with another Fallout 76 video. Now, before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all of you, because when this video gets uploaded, we're probably going to be very close, if not reached, 60,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. This is crazy because just the other week, before my channel started to blow up again with Fallout 76 coverage, I was at 57,000 subs for like a year. It's been insane. So for such a short amount of time in just 1 week to have reached 60,000, it's crazy. So thank you so much for the support. I can't thank you enough. I've been busting my ass doing this Fallout 76 stuff, but I hope you've been enjoying it, and I've got more to come over the next couple of weeks. So as you know, Vault 76 is a control vault. It was meant to open 20 years after the Great War. As we know, the Great War was on October 23rd, 2077, which means that Vault 76 was meant to open automatically on October 23rd, 2097. And there's nothing really to suggest in the lore of the game or in the terminal that was in the Citadel in Fallout 3 that this didn't go to plan, that the vault didn't open up automatically after 20 years. Presumably, this is the case, and without any other evidence to the contrary, I think it's safe to say that once it reached that date of October 23rd, 2097, that the vault door did automatically open. And as I'm sure most of you saw in the game trailer for Fallout 76, the date of the Pip-Boy in that initial opening panning screen was October 27, 2102. So if we presume, and I think safely we can, that that's going to be the date of the game Fallout 76, which is a whole 5 years and several days after the vault door was meant to open 20 years after the Great War, why is it the case that the vault protagonist that we can see in the game is still in the vault 5 years after the door initially opened? Now, this is a really tough question to ask, because when I say protagonist, I don't even know if there will be one solitary protagonist. You know, if this game is truly co-op, then we could have multiple protagonists. We could have multiple people that are in the vault that decide to, you know, combine together and leave as one group or faction or party. So it's really difficult to talk about this game not knowing much more about it. But again, look, we're just theorizing, we're just speculating, having fun, throwing out our theories. I would love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below as to why you think the player character, let's say, or player characters have not left the vault 5 years after it opened. But yeah, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I would love to hear your speculations and theories, but let's get on to my thoughts. So as you can see in the trailer, there are certain things that we should certainly note as it continues. First of all, you can see a backpack on the bed, which suggests that the vault protagonist, or the player character, is intending upon finally leaving the vault and is already in pack to go. But interestingly, as the rest of the trailer progresses and we see more of Vault 76, you can see that a party of some sort has happened. The party looks somewhat recent, although that could be a little bit deceptive, but there is some other signs of living, like for instance, in the laundry you can see some clothes and also some clothes folded in the basket. Then when we get to the desk, you can see the terminal there, which still has the invitation to the reclamation party right on the screen. And then when we get to the kitchen, there are food, cups, plates laid out everywhere on the table. And then in the main hall, you can still see balloons, confetti, and Vault Boy cardboard stand-ups, which, judging by the big poster in the background there, was all for Vault 76's Reclamation Day. And yes, by Reclamation Day, I think we can assume that this would be the day once all the Vault residents agree to finally leave Vault 76 and begin life anew in the post-apocalyptic world. And I find it really interesting how the vault is in complete disarray. It's like either nothing has been cleaned up all these years after the Reclamation Day party took place, or alternatively, it happened really recently. And then there's the question of why the vault is so empty, because the only person that we see is the player character or the vault protagonist. I mean, if you look back at the Pip-Boy, the time is 6:34 in the morning, so maybe everyone is just asleep at this stage, and the only one that is awoken is the player character. So who really knows which way this could go? Is the vault really empty? Is everyone asleep? It's hard to discern from this very limited trailer footage that we have at this stage. Especially because even though we're 5 years after the vault door was meant to open, that doesn't necessarily mean the vault residents had to leave. They could still stay there and have their reclamation day 1, 2, 3, however many years that they want after the door opened, because they have that option, especially because it's a control vault and there's no experimentations that are going to endanger them in any way. So with all these things considered, what has actually happened in this vault? What story reason is BGS going going to give as to why at this stage the vault protagonist is still in the vault. Again, 5 years after the door opened. We're not talking several months, we're not talking 1 year, we're talking 5 years. I think there must be an important reason why at least the protagonist is there after that time. And also, if we assume that that reclamation party is recent, why the residents of the entire vault, the other 499 of them that were in there, decided to stay for that long. So I personally have been throwing around a few ideas in my head, and I'd love to get your thoughts on these as well. But first and foremost, I think a plausible idea is that somehow the player character was incapacitated in some sort of way. I mean, if we look at a game like Fallout 4, we were incapacitated by being frozen for so long, and that's why we left after such a lengthy period of time. But the only thing going against that is that when you look at this trailer, there doesn't seem to be any signs of a struggle, there doesn't seem to be a cryopod, there doesn't seem to be anything that would suggest that, oh, somehow this guy or this girl has woken up 5 years after they were meant to leave when the vault door opened. And again, being a control vault, there was no experimentations that would mean the vault dweller or the vault protagonist, whatever they're called, I'm coming up with different names. There's no experimentation that would mean that person is stuck in the vault for such a long period of time. It's not like Fallout 3 where prolonged isolation was actually the experiment. And also, I forgot to mention, I think another good comparison vault is Vault 3. Vault 3 was also a control vault that was meant to stay closed for 20 years, but the vault residents just didn't want to leave. So initially, that's what they did. They stayed in the vault and they never left. It was only when there was a water leak where some of them were forced outside to try and begin brokering with those in the outside world, and then eventually they were all killed by raiders. That's what happened with Vault 3. And that does give me another interesting idea. Did all these vault residents somehow perish? Did they all get killed by raiders or super mutants, which I believe were there at the time? Someone please confirm that with me. I do believe super mutants were beginning to arise like 10 years after the Great War. I would love if someone confirmed that to me. But did they somehow all die? I don't believe that story either, because again, why wouldn't the vault character or the player character, the protagonist, have died either? I think they all managed to survive, celebrate their reclamation day and leave. And it's also my guess as well that they've already started a town or a settlement of some sort, so I don't believe that's the case either. So the next reason that I had as to why this player character is in the vault for so long is that while they've actually left the vault, they keep coming back there to sleep for some reason. I mean, if you think about it, being in a vault is a pretty secure location, especially when you're comparing to other areas of the wasteland, again, that have raiders, that have all these irradiated creatures. Where else would you want to be other than a vault, right? It's kind of interesting though, if you're by yourself, can you defend a vault on your own? You know, what if people start to invade? Can you protect yourself? Do you have full control over that vault door? We don't really know, assuming that they do. But hey, maybe it's a theory that this person, like with the others, actually left on Reclamation Day, but just decided to come back because they didn't like the outside world. I mean, that could be another thought. And then another thought that I have is that this person has just never left. They just decided to stay in the vault X number of months or years after everyone else has left. The only thing going against that is that the party supplies are still everywhere. There's still food everywhere, confetti, you know, plates, etc. Why wouldn't this person have cleaned up? If they were going to stay in this vault, I mean, maybe they would have cleaned up. Would you clean up a vault that you were still in? Or would you just kind of make sure your quarters and your bedroom was clean, even though their bedroom wasn't cleaned? Maybe this person was just a messy person. I don't know. So this is what I'm honestly leaning towards. And again, I draw that comparison to Vault 3. I honestly think that the vault residents in Vault 76, even though the door opened 20 years after the Great War, they didn't know what to expect. Right? I'm assuming that anyways. This is just a theory, but 20 years after the Great War, the post-apocalyptic outside is dangerous to them. They don't know what's out there. They don't know if anyone survived, what kind of creatures or monsters or animals are out there, what kind of things that the radiation has done, or how dangerous the outside world is because of the fallout. They wouldn't have known any of that. So it's probably safe, even though after the vault door opens, for most of them to stay inside, maybe send out a party or two here and there to kind of scope out the land, because Fallout 3 actually did that in Vault 101. They had people that would go out and venture out to see what was on the outside world and report back to the vault. So I'm assuming that for the months or the years after the vault door was opened, they probably did that. They probably stayed in the vault, sent some people out to do some research, and then report back all of their findings. And then, as I mentioned before, at some point, whenever this Reclamation Day took place, I do think that the Vault residents have gone out and started their own settlement or started their own town, because it would be kind of odd if we were the player character leaving Vault 76 for the first time, for there to be no kind of cool towns to go to. And I think obviously those that were on the outside that somehow managed to survive the Great War, you know, those that became the Raiders, those that became the other civilians in the Wasteland. I'm assuming that there's going to be other settlements and other towns that have cropped up. But I do think it's important for those that were in Vault 76, because there were 499 of them, excluding the player character. It's obviously important for that vault to have some sort of presence in the Wasteland. It's Reclamation Day. This is what they were kind of taught when they were in the vault. One day, you would go out and rebuild anew. You would take back what's yours. So yes, I do think that the Vault residents have gone out, started their own town. But it begs the question, why is the player character either decided to stay behind or did not decide to go out with them and start this new town? Did they just like to be a lone wanderer, pun intended? Did they not like anyone there? Did they have a disagreement? Did they not agree in terms of how Reclamation Day should take place, or the kind of society that they should build once they left the vault? I think BGS might give some sort of internal conflict story reason as to why the player character has decided not to go with the bigger group, because let's be honest here, going with that bigger group is much better protection than going on your own, especially when you don't know what to expect in the Wasteland. So there must be a strong reason as to why this person, you know, a female or male, whoever it is, has decided not to go with the bigger group and start this town. So anyways, Wastelanders, please let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have different thoughts? Do you have some crazy theories? I would love to read them. As you know, I try and read every one of your comments. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.